Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to take a few minutes and let everyone join in, but we thank you for joining us for our webinar Wednesday, which we know is hosted every last or fourth Wednesday of the month. Today, we will have our Cook County procurement officers joining us. So, going to have a lot of great information for you all when we get started. So, thank you all for joining us again. And again, just give us a moment and we'll get started. I'm gonna let everyone join in. Mercedes, you can give me an all clear when you feel like the numbers are steady.
Got it.
And for those who are not familiar with Cook County Small Business Source, my name is Dominique Gamble Bruton. I am the Senior Program Manager. I kind of manage and work very closely overseeing the Cook County Small Business Source. That would be my picture you see there on the homepage with some of our wonderful partners at the Southland Development Association. And we will have some great information kicking off and getting started for you all shortly.
I think we're good to go. We're having right around 50, so
All
I
right,
think we're good to start.
good job. Uh-oh, did I just take us off?
No, you're great, Dominique. Looks
Can
good.
you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see the PowerPoint
All right.
opening slide.
I'm not going to say what I just did. All right. Well, welcome again, everyone. My name is Dominique Gamble. I am the Senior Program Manager of the Cook County Small Business Source. As you all might know or might not know, the Cook County Small Business Source is a wonderful program that was developed out of COVID in 2020. So we have been running this program for the last 4 years. It was initially developed because we saw the need. We knew that the small businesses were the life and breath of our communities and of our counties and actually of the nation. So out of that, we created this wonderful small business opportunity that provides all free resources. I'm going to say it again, free resources, because a lot of people believe free is too good to be true. But we do provide free business coaching. You can access resources on our website. We have a wonderful events page. I put up a webinar Wednesday so you can see like this event. We also have access to capital opportunities. There's a funding and finance page on our website. So if you're looking for information, you can go to the website, see if you can find some. I believe we have a grants tab and a loan tab. We have events like how to become loan ready, how to be grant ready. We teach you all about marketing, how to market your business, how to do your taxes, pretty much anything that a small business would need. We are trying to make sure that we assist you all in that. And here's just a little impact numbers to date. As I stated, the Cook County Small Business Source has been up and running since 2020. And as to date, we have some wonderful impact numbers. We have assisted over 24,000 businesses. That's by way of advising and events. We have assisted and distributed over 67 million. Within grants, and over 106,000 businesses have been reached or touched through the source. So that's by way of e-blasts, emails, door knocking, phone banking. We are out here trying to make sure that we are able to assist you. So you can see our demographics. We work within all communities. 82% of our businesses identify as people of color, 59% identify as women-owned businesses, and 94% identify as micro businesses. So we do know most of our businesses we work with have 10 or less employees. We are starting to see a little shift there, which is great. People are growing, expanding, and looking to scale those businesses up. So, and we are here to help. And how do we do that? We do that with 13 wonderful business organizations who are partnered with the source. I have their names here. I put our little unified partner model because our partner model is a little different than other small business organizations you might see throughout the city and the county. The way in which we work is you can work with one of our small business organizations. You can work with Allies or Berwyn, the WBDC, Women's Business Development Organization, for something just like this. you want to be certified, as a business owner, and WBDC might be able to assist you. IHCC can assist you. But before we can get to that, we realize that maybe you need assistance in a different area, and maybe that's just not their niche. Instead of them saying, I can't help you in that, we don't drop businesses here. What we have done is create a very unique and wonderful partnership model where you can actually be transferred to any other business advisor through one of our other partner organizations. So you want to get marketing assistance, if you need tax assistance, we know who works in what areas, and we have their direct contact. We have it where you can actually be transferred in our back end Salesforce model, and then you can come back and work with the actual advisor who you're building your small business journey with. So I like to call this our source family. We are not competing over businesses. That's what I always tell people. There are enough to go around. Chicago is a very large city. Cook County is even larger. So whatever it is that you all need, we are here to assist. And if one organization cannot help you, we will look to find another advisor who can assist you at a different organization. So I'm not going to run through all the names. You can see them here listed. We have 36 Square, Greater Southwest, Chicago Urban League, Chinese Mutual Aid just joined us, as well as Builders Avenue. We are growing. We're seeing people ask about businesses in construction solar area. And again, we're very diverse. Now we can actually assist businesses in over 14 languages if needed. We are trying to make sure that literally we are touching every need and providing our resources for all of our small business clients. And this is just a broader view of some of our partners that we work with. We have what we call referral partners who come in. They assist with directing business owners to the source. They assist with maybe hosting events with us or for us or partnering with us in our BSOs. But this is the breadth. We have over 50 business organizations that work with us, that direct businesses to our advisors, that assist us, that help us with providing resources and events and whatever it is that you all may need within your small business journey or wheelhouse. So I tell people, if you need to take a picture, now's your time. You can see who is close by you if you need help. I am I'm not going to say one time. I used to be a serial entrepreneur over 10 years ago. I have had over 4 businesses. So building out this program, as we built it out, I thought about it and the things that I needed and what would have assisted me. I have a lot of family members. We are serial entrepreneurs. What it is that I hear them need. And I do know we are stubborn and we don't like to go for help. So I'm saying, if you need help while it's here, please take it. It is free. All this information you're about to receive is free. As we transition and go over to procurement, take notes. Don't feel as though, you don't have the time or you don't need it. I totally understand this is your baby. A lot of people don't trust people and don't want them to know your information. But please know that we work with experts. They've been doing this work for over 20, 30, 40, 50 years, a lot of these organizations. So we are here to assist you. And I just wanted to end with you all seeing a lot of happy faces. These are our advisors. These are the people I wanted to put a face to the work that we do here at The Source. They are here and ready to help you on your small business journey. So as you see, it is not just the name. It's not just Cook County Source. They're real people who are actually ready to assist you and do one-on-one coaching and to help develop you and take you to your next level. And this is how you can do that. You can use a scan code. You can go to our intake form. You will be matched based off of what your criteria and your need is to one of our advisor organizations. The circle at the bottom, you can sign up for our newsletter if you're not already receiving that information. And share it with a friend or a colleague or a neighbor who might be trying to start a business, has a business, and need help. Again, we are here to help. We want everybody to know the services are free. I'm going to keep saying that because people do not believe it. And free means there is no need for you, no reason for you not to tap into this. So get whatever help you need. And I'm going to thank you all for joining us. I'm not going to take any more time because I want you to be able to receive everything and all the information you tapped in for, which was from procurement. So with that, I thank you all for joining us. You have the scan code. Our email is, our web address is cookcountysmallbiz.org. You can check out our website, go to business advising page if you would like to gather more information on who we are and what we do. Go to the events page if you would like to keep up with whatever free events we have for the month. We do keep that updated. And just again, direct a friend, check out our resource page and financing if you need assistance. So thank you all for joining us. And with that, I'm going to transfer it over. And is Miss Sheena here? I can transfer it over to Sheena.
I think we're good to move ahead to Sabrina.
Okay. I will move on to Miss Sabrina. Thank you.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Perfect.
Well, thank you, Dominique, for that introduction, and thank you to the Small Business Source for having me here today. My name is Sabrina Jackson, and I'm a program manager in the Center for Business Enterprise Development, and that is a division within the Office of the Chief Procurement Officer. In our time today, what I want to do is kind of go over 4 things that I want to share that's related to Cook County, the Cook County certification process. First, I want to kind of give you an overview of our team in the certification area or the business enterprise development area so that you can understand the group of people or the individuals that make up business enterprise development. I also want to talk about certification and the eligibility requirements. So we're going to get into that a little bit. Also, what's involved with the review process once you submit an application for certification. And then lastly, this is the good part. I kind of want to talk about the benefits of certification, because when you're doing something and you're trying to grow and expand your business and you make the choice to become certified with Cook County, obviously everybody wants to know and understand what the benefits are of becoming certified with Cook County. So I'm going to wrap up talking a little bit about that. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and I want to start with, as I mentioned, the makeup of our group. Give me just a moment.
Looks great.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so first I want to talk about the makeup of the teams that are in the Center for Business Enterprise Development. First, I want to start with the certification team because we're talking about certification today. So that's your key team. They're responsible for the application intake. So when you make the determination that you want to be certified with Cook County, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to our diversity management system and you're going to submit your application. Once you do, then that certification team is responsible for the application intake. They're going to do the auditing and analysis of the documentation that you provide. And they're also just going to overall ensure that applicants are capable to perform on Cook County government contracts. Next, we have our compliance team. Our compliance team does a lot of things, but in summary, one of the major things that they do is to make sure that they're monitoring all contracts, pre and post award. And also they're ensuring that there's compliance with the overall program code for the Cook County certification program. They also would be ones that would come out and do site visits. Specifically, if you're in the construction industry, you can expect to see someone from the compliance team come out and complete a site visit. Next, we have the strategic initiatives team. That's the team that I'm a part of. I'm a program manager on that team. And what we're responsible for essentially is outreach, training, and education. Essentially, we just want to support vendors navigating the Cook County certification process and also the procurement process. And lastly, but definitely not least, we have our administrative team. This is really the glue for the team. They make sure that they're supporting our operational mission and that we're able to get the work done that we need to do each day. So we appreciate and we lift up our administrative team in the Center for Business Enterprise Development. Okay. Now let's get into what we want to think about when we're thinking about eligibility for the certification program. As I mentioned earlier, the certification team is responsible for making sure all of the program requirements are met. What I'm going to go over now is really the baseline. And by that, what I mean is to make sure that if you at a minimum have these things, then you can apply for the program. So the first one I want to talk about is proof of citizenship and legal residency. You would think when you are submitting the evidence for this, some of the most basic things that you would want to provide would be your birth certificate, your passport, your green card, and just any other documents that you have that will be used to validate your citizenship. So again, proof of citizenship or legal residency is going to be one of the first things that you're going to want to pull together when thinking about submitting an application. Next will be the proof of minority and gender status. When we ask for these documents, what we're really trying to get our head wrapped around and make an assessment of is whether you are socially disadvantaged. So again, things that you would want to provide for proof of minority and gender status would be similar to those for citizenship to some degree, maybe your birth certificate, or other legal documents to essentially show that you are a minority and what is your gender status. The third is proof of majority ownership. So majority ownership would be defined as 51% or greater. So thinking about your business, you need to have majority ownership. So that would be 51%. It can be a scenario where there's a 50-50 ownership structure. It needs to be 51% or greater. You need to be independent, should be independently owned and controlled by you. You must be able to demonstrate that you have financial, administrative, and operational control. And essentially that ownership cannot be tied or tangled with any other entity where it's not clear that the full ownership lies with the applicant who's applying for certification. Next, we want to verify your personal net worth. Similar to the minority and gender status, where we're validating to make sure that you're socially disadvantaged in that area. For personal net worth, we're doing a similar validation to understand and make sure that you're economically disadvantaged. So the wealth threshold for personal net worth for this particular program, we use numbers that are indexed annually, and we get a new amount every year. So for 2025, that number just came out a couple of months ago. So if your personal net worth is $2.8 million or below for the year of 2025, then you meet the criteria for personal net worth. Next, we want to know that you meet the size criteria for a small business. That size criteria is determined by the Small Business Administration, also known as the SBA. That's based on your industry. And also we look at 7 years of average gross receipts. So the SBA determines or defines what a small business is. And then we look at your industry and we take your gross receipts, and then we do our analysis to ensure that you meet small business, the size criteria for a small business. So next, I want to talk a little bit about your location of your business. So we need evidence that your primary business location is in Cook County. So the good news is, even though this is Cook County and this is a Cook County certification program, it's more than just Cook County. It's 6 counties in total. So your business can be primarily located in Cook County, DuPage, Kane, Lake, McHenry, or Will. Those are the counties. So 6 counties in total. One thing that is not allowed or that cannot happen is you cannot say have a seasonal home or a summer home in one of these counties, but 9 months out of the year, we'll say you live in Florida and operate your business out of Florida, and then you come back to the Chicagoland area in the summer. Your primary business location where it's operated, where the business is operated out of, must be in Cook County or one of the 5 other counties that I just named. If this is the case, then you're set with your primary business location. Okay, so this is the basic requirements. So once you've gathered all your documents, now you're ready to apply online. The certification application is an online application. We don't accept any paper documentation. It's online only. Once it's submitted, it will then be given to it will be intercepted right away by one of our intake specialists. our intake specialist will do what we call a cursory review. And that's kind of looking at the things that you've submitted, the things that you've uploaded into the Diversity Management System portal, and it's based on all the requirements that make you eligible for the certification program. Once that review is complete, if it checks all the boxes, then you'll be invoiced $250, which is the application fee. You'll have 5 days after that to remit payment. So I do want to share some good news. If you're a veteran or you're disabled, the application fee is $0. So there's no fee for veterans or service-disabled veterans or disabled business enterprises. If you're a minority or woman enterprise, then there's a $250 application fee. Again, 5 days to remit that payment. And then once you do, the next thing you'll want to do is, the next thing we will do once we receive payment, then we'll get started with our process. So it will be assigned to a dedicated certification officer. That person will be reviewing your application. They may communicate with you back and forth if there are things or questions or clarifications related to the documentation that you've submitted, but you will have a dedicated individual that will be working and reviewing your application. Now, the intake specialist is doing a cursory review, but you can expect a deep dive from the certification officer, meaning there may be a chance that there was something that the intake specialist did not question or reach out to you about, but the certification officer is going to circle back with you and ask you certain questions, maybe about documentation, to make sure they're able to validate everything that is needed to put you in a position where you can become certified with Cook County. Ultimately, that certification officer's job is to make sure that you're, in the end, able to compete and deliver on Cook County government contracts. Once the review process is complete, you will receive either an approval or a denial. One thing that I want to add as it relates to denials is you may receive an approval, but you may be denied for some parts of the application. And by that, I mean, if you want to be certified in multiple industries, maybe you are certified for one or approved to be certified in one, but denied to be certified in some component of another industry. So that can happen. Processing time frame is between 90 and 120 days. One thing that I would say is if you want to stay or have that best experience and to stay on the shorter side of this time frame, is make sure that we provide a application checklist so that you can actually go in and, as you're completing your application and as you're uploading documents, ensure that you're not missing anything and that you're supplying thorough documentation that has all the information on there that the certification officer needs to assess your application. So next is the part that I mentioned earlier, and this is the really good part. Once you've gotten through the application process, you've been certified, you really want to start thinking about what benefits will come to you as you move forward with your business as a business that is certified with Cook County. So one of the first things that you should want to think about is your visibility. So it's almost like thinking about marketing. Becoming certified with Cook County is to some degree free marketing, if you will. You'll be added to a certified vendor directory that may be accessed by the public. So becoming certified with Cook County puts your business and your business name and you out there as someone who is certified, who has been through our process and is now ready to contract. The other benefit is that there's no expiration date. So there's no expiration date where you feel like, okay, this only lasts for a certain period of time and then I have to go through this process again. What we do ask you to do and what you will need to do is if there's any material changes that take place with your business from the time you're certified and over that next year, those need to be reported to us within 10 business days. So for example, if your ownership structure changes or your industry changes, or you want to add new codes to your industry, to the industry that you're working in, that's something that we need to know. So it's kind of doing your part to make sure that you're keep holding up your end of the communication with us, because we certified you based on one thing. And if something changes, we want to know what has changed in a relatively short period of time after that change has taken place. There is an annual renewal process, but that is simple, and you'll be notified 30, 60, and 90 days prior to. So the key there about the notification is that you want to make sure that you keep your address and all of your contacts, excuse me, your address, your contact information, your email. You want to keep all of those things up to date, or any of those things change, you need to let us know, because we will help you out to ensure that you stay compliant. So when it's time for your annual renewals, we'll give you like notifications and reminders 30, 60, 90 days prior to, so that you can get all the information to us. If there are no changes, you'll submit a no change affidavit. Like I said, if there are material changes, you'll also report that to us. Another benefit of being certified with Cook County is that you're out in the public sector. People that are looking for certified vendors are able to see you. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about before, when I said you have wider and greater visibility. So one thing about that is you're now certified, so the public sector has confidence in knowing that, okay, this business has been vetted through our process of certification. And so now if they're seeking a minority or a woman-owned business, veteran, whatever, to participate and do something as it relates to contracting with their business, they know they can rely that this business has been vetted by Cook County. So that's another benefit, and it just adds another layer to being able to expand opportunities for you as a certified Cook County business owner. And the last one is we have reciprocity with the city of Chicago. So reciprocity with the city of Chicago means that you can contract for Cook County, but you can also be a part of contracts for the city of Chicago. That's a huge benefit as well. One of the things that I want to add to that, just on top of having, again, now you have the county of Cook and the city of Chicago, you'll also be in their directory. So again, more visibility for you and your business, because you're in these directories that are public facing, that the public will be able to see if they want to source your business for contracts. So now I want to spend some time discussing how certification can aid in the growth and expansion of your business. There's a variety of ways that you can contract. So Cook County is not only the only Cook County government is not the only entity that you can contract with when you're certified with Cook County. You can also contract with the Chicago Public Schools, the Housing Authority of Cook County, CTA, Cook County Health and Hospital Systems, the Forest Preserve of Cook County, and there's more, but those are a few that I want to highlight just for this audience. Thinking about Cook County and their purchasing power, we invest in about approximately $1.3 billion in a wide variety of goods and services that are purchased through Cook County. So Cook County purchases for the offices under the president, which you will see on the slide, this area on the left side of the screen. And they also purchase for elected officials. So thinking about all the ways that your business can get involved in these contracting opportunities. We contract for paper goods, office supplies, personal services like accounting, legal services, even insurance. And those are just to name a few. And here's a few other things that we contract for, just to give you an idea of where you and your business could possibly fit in as it relates to Cook County contracts. All right. So as I'm preparing to wrap up, one of the final pieces that I want to cover, because I think is so important, we always hear, we actually have a webinar kind of named around some of the feedback that we receive, where we say, we hear, I'm certified, now what? And that's kind of one of the questions that we get. And so in my space and strategic initiatives, while we want to make sure that we're educating and sharing information so that new vendors know how to operate once they've been certified with Cook County, because they are certified, but now they're not seeing any fruits, or they feel like they're not seeing the fruits of their certification. So one thing that you want to do is as soon as you find out that your certification has been approved, you want to register in the Office of the Chief Procurement Officer's vendor portal. The name of it is Bonfire, and by registering in Bonfire, you're able to be at the forefront of receiving all types of information and being able to do a lot of things with your certification. You're in Bonfire, you're able to bid on contracts. You're able to actually communicate back and forth. So it's an online portal, but it's also has a communication component and a feature where you're able to communicate with firms that are actually looking to contract. You're able to see past awards. So sometimes you want to be able to understand how to best compete and what contracts have previously awarded. And so you're able to look at past contracts and see how they put together the application, their bid, all of those things are right at your fingertips once you become a part of the Bonfire vendor portal. Also, you'll be able to receive email alerts. So if your industry is trucking, for example, if contract opportunities come up related to trucking, then you would be able to receive those. You can set it up so that you can receive alerts. So it's something that is working for you and helping you while you sleep. So when you wake up and check your portal, you'll see you have an alert saying that there are new contracts available to be bid on related to your specific industry. So again, another benefit and just something to think about once you've been certified. And we also, in the Center for Business Enterprise Development, put together webinars too to kind of focus on those businesses that have been certified. So again, all the things that you can do or you need to think about doing once you have been certified with Cook County. And this next slide is just a couple of different links that I want to share with the audience, just so that you can be able to tap into a lot of the things that I talked about today. So registering or beginning to start your certification application, that will be the first link, the Cook County.diversitycompliance.com. That's where you'll go to start your application. This next one is just our public-facing website that gives you all the information about the goings-on in the Center for Business Enterprise Development. We also have FAQ, and that's just one-page document that gives you information about the program, some of those frequently asked questions that people have and that are hoping to get answered when they're either going through the process or deciding whether they want to. And then we have a YouTube channel. And I put this is here because if you're ever not able to make any of our events, any of our webinars that are virtual, once they have been recorded, we add them to our YouTube channel so that you can go back and access them anytime. You can share them with a friend and you can get the information that you may have missed. So I hope everyone has found information that I shared today valuable. This concludes my presentation. And one last thing I want to leave you with is we do have in the Center for Business Enterprise Development, we have a webinar that is coming up on May 21st from 2 to 3. I believe we're going to drop the information for that event in the chat so everyone can see if you're able to register. And what will happen here, and this is also related to getting certified with Cook County, but it's taking a deeper dive. And what I mean by deeper dive is going into some of the very specific things that you would need. We'll have certification officers on the call that can answer some of your questions. And like I said, take those deep dives. Today was, we'll say, the 60,000-foot view of what it means or how you become certified with Cook County. So we want to give you that second opportunity on May 21st to come back again and get more of a deeper dive into the process.
Thank you, Sabrina. That was great. A plethora of information. As you all heard, Sabrina, Mercedes did drop all of those links into our chat. So if you would like to register for that May 21st event, you can go to the chat and find them there. Also, I know we have a few questions in the chat. Sabrina, if you would like to answer those before we have some time here. So I will ask Mercedes if she can read those off before we actually end the webinar.
I have a few questions that arose, but I do want to preface for everyone that was asking, we will share the webinar recording following this webinar in an email to everyone. So you will have that accessible. And then we will also share additional information on how to get in contact with the business enterprise development team. So our procurement team here at Cook County, how to access that May 21st event that Sabrina referenced. So that information will be shared in a follow-up. Okay, getting into some of our questions here. I see Erin asked, hi, I run and own 60% of my family business. How would I show ownership?
So some of the ways that well, I'll start by saying that you have over 51%, so that's good. That's a good start in meeting the minimum eligibility requirements for ownership. It depends on the type of business that you have. There's many documents that you can show. You can show investment in the business, meaning, and by investment, what that means is that you are able to have like financial stake in the business. Also, if you have any documentation related to being with the state of Illinois, certificate of good standings. Thank you. It was leaving me for a minute there. If you're able to provide your certificate of good standing, any other financial documents that you have related to your investment in the building, your tax returns, all of those things would be useful in being able to show your ownership interest in the business.
Perfect. I think this question from Anonymous is a bit of a follow-up to that. They're asking that their business is only 2 years old. Would they qualify for certifications?
So we do ask for a minimum of years for tax returns, but we will look at individual cases. So if it's less than we'll say you don't have documentation for 7 years, to kind of go through, these are the documents that are provided, meaning your tax returns, any of the business related legal documentation that you would need to provide. We will look at it on a case by case basis. And if that's all you have is 2 years, then that's what you need to provide. But also when you're applying some sort of statement that says that I've only had my business for 2 years, so that then that starts the conversation of, okay, let's look at it from that perspective versus, oh, this is someone that's been in business for 10 years and they should have 7 years worth of tax returns and other financial documents.
And I think Joe here kind of proposed a similar question in that same vein. For the criteria and 7 years gross receipts, they're asking, how does the downtime during that the pandemic, so the 2 to 3 years where business wasn't quite booming, how would that factor in?
I feel like that's more of a question that can be answered by one of our certification officers. And again, if there's some things that are very specific to the business, so we look at them on a case by case basis. But what I would say is provide what you have and then kind of take it from there, and also a statement about what you just mentioned, if your business was not booming. I will say, when you're looking at 7 years of gross receipts, if you only have, a couple of years where your business was doing well, or was really making profit, that will probably be something that will be more advantageous for your business, because you're not, we also got to think about personal net worth, and how much money you're able to validate as from your personal net worth. So I would say, again, this is more of a deep dive question in a case by case basis, but definitely join us on May 21st.
And as a reminder, we did drop the link to register and join that webinar on the 21st in the chat. And I will also circulate it in the follow-up email, so you all can join Sabrina and the BED team again. Okay, moving on to a few additional questions that we have. Latoya is asking, they are already certified with the city. Is there a separate process for the county?
No, there's not a separate process. As I mentioned before, one of the benefits is that we have reciprocity with the city of Chicago. So you can essentially go in now and register in Bonfire, and start receiving those benefits and getting access to like the different contracting opportunities that are coming up through Cook County. So no, there's not a separate process.
Perfect. Going back to Joe, I think they posed a question that is helpful to touch on, considering everything that is happening in our world today and the political climate, do you still recommend going forward with the certification process and being designated?
Yes, certainly. I would not be here if I did not believe that it's still a lot of value, and you should move forward with the certification process, even under the political climate that we're in. I will say this is something that we are closely monitoring in the Office of the Chief Procurement Officer and the Center of Business Enterprise Development. But yes, you should continue to apply. We're here, we are working, and we're looking forward to receiving your application.
Perfect. Going down, I do have a question that's asking, what does certification does not expire mean? Do you not have to renew certifications?
You just do annual renewals, and then what you would do is they call a no change affidavit, and then you would just submit that, and essentially it's like a check-in to see, like, over the last year, has anything changed. It's your responsibility once certified to, if there's any material change, to report that to us within 10 business days. But some people may have forgotten, or it may have slipped your mind, or you may have thought like, oh, this isn't something significant enough to. So that's what that non-renewal means. So you don't have to go through that full process again, but we do that annual check-in, and you complete the no change affidavit to do that.
A second part to that question that was just dropped, how much is the annual renewal fee?
There's no fee for annual renewal.
Okay, let me go up to the top here. Anonymous is asking, once you have been certified, is there a further assistance that your team provides for putting together bids or proposals for these opportunities that are available?
So we don't directly, out of the Center for Business Enterprise Development, what we do offer is we put together educational training workshops, and we partner with business support organizations. Also, we bring in, we do through our partnerships. That's how we extend support. And maybe this is a question also that you all can jump in on a little bit.
Kelly, I was thinking the same thing, Sabrina, so thank you. Exactly. That's why we're doing this partnership, to let you all know that there's more than one way to get assistance and resources through Cook County. So if you are looking for that direct coaching, mentorship, whatever that's looking like, please do feel free to sign up with The Source. You could work with one of our BSO partners. We do have a few who also work directly with our procurement office. They do assist them with getting people signed up as certified minority business owners or the like. So they are familiar with the process. So whatever it is that you need to get built up prior to actually getting to that specific point before you can actually get certified, we are here to assist you with the Cook County Small Business Source. And again, you can work with that business advisor throughout your small business journey once you have gotten to where you need to be. I saw a few questions in the chat, even about, transitioning your business, or you don't have any money, or you need direction on, how to take these steps so that you can know if you are even qualified to be able to certify. I will suggest that you work with the Cook County Small Business Source. Mercedes just dropped the link again. Our website is cookcountysmallbiz.org. You can do an intake form, let them know what you're looking for. They'll direct you to one of those BSO organizations who can help you. And then once you're scaled up, they can get you ready over to go to the procurement office and work with the business enterprise zone, and you all are ready to go. There is more than one way to skin a cat. I know we've always heard that, and we are partners here with Cook County, and we are here working with procurement. So let us help you get scaled up to where you need to be. So I don't want anybody to get off this call feeling like, oh man, I can't do this, my business is here. We have advisors that can help you in that space and carry you through the process, walk you through the process, the paperwork process, whatever that looks like, advise you, direct you, coach you, and then get you handed off to the business enterprise. What is it again, Sabrina? Business enterprise. You on mute. Oh, business enterprise development. Okay, I keep wanting to say zone, and so I stopped myself. I'm sorry. I don't want to say it wrong. But we'll get you, handed off, clean. Get you directly handed off to someone who can assist you and, take you to the next steps and the next level. So I hope that answers some of those questions. I think I see more pop up after that.
Yeah. There's quite a few questions coming in, some that are a bit more, as we just covered, applicable to the source and our business advising services. So those links have been dropped in the chat, and then also in response to a few of these questions, as Dominique stated, we highly, highly encourage you all to check out and take advantage of that free, no catch involved, no tricks resource that we have available. Okay, coming back to a few questions for Sabrina that I think you might be able to advise on in our last few minutes here. Again, Anonymous is asking, how do you apply for subcontracts if you're smaller? Maybe that kind of ties back into the business advising question, but.
So I don't know that if you apply for, you say, how do you apply for subcontracts if you're smaller?
Smaller to get started.
So one of the things that we like to help the vendors think about is when you are smaller, still going into Bonfire and kind of looking at the different opportunities that are there. And a lot of times in the solicitation, there's different line items. And so you might be smaller, you may be doing one line item out of a larger contract, but also networking, making sure that you are attending any type of workshops, meeting some of the primes. We do offer opportunities to connect and network with primes. And by that meaning they're the primary on the contract. And also we had maybe a couple of weeks ago, a woman who is actually certified Cook County and City of Chicago. And she actually talked about how when she was smaller, how she would try to make connections and network, and through mentorship, because they were smaller, to start doing some of this, a piece of a larger contract to get the experience and to get their feet wet. Also, when you're thinking about Cook County as a larger county, because we also think about the townships and the municipalities within Cook County that maybe you can try to contract with, to kind of get your feet wet, so that when you are ready for those bigger contracts with Cook County and the City of Chicago, you will actually have more experience. So I think a lot of it comes with being out, meeting, networking, putting yourself out there, and sometimes just opening yourself up to opportunities to be mentored. And even if you submit a bid for a contract and you don't receive it, one of the vendors that we had that's been certified Cook County for over 20 years, they went back and asked for feedback. and then started building a relationship. So in the future, they could come back and improve and be ready, be more with what they say is contract ready. So I know a lot of that is just taking the time and doing the work. And meaning by that, I mean putting yourself out there, making the connections, and trying to figure out what's your best like entry point.
Love that. Real quick, you hit on a few points, and I just want to ask you to just elaborate a little bit. I love that you directed them to help them think it's Cook County, not just the city of Chicago, because we know a lot of people think Cook County and only think the city of Chicago, but Cook County is actually the suburban areas out, that are connected in the outsourced areas of the city of Chicago. So yeah, check with your municipalities and see what's going on. But I know I worked in my past former job on a few different projects, and it was great learning what those smaller project looks like if people were to actually partner with a sub. Can you kind of elaborate? Because I know I've heard things like, hey, you might be the person who can provide maybe the cleaning supplies, or you might can do the plumbing, or you might, it's things that people don't actually think about that connects as far as a smaller business that they could connect with a sub with. So can you just provide them just a few examples? You don't have to do a lot, but just a few examples of what that might look like for a project.
Oh, certainly. And these are true examples that business owners have shared with me. I was at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking to a business owner, and they do the power washing. So they try to connect with, the larger prime that's doing the construction, and they just like do the power washing, or you may do some of the electrical or the plumbing, or in some instances, you may like clear the site, like preparing the site for the construction. So some of the smaller jobs that, and I don't know if I was clear, but that's kind of where I was going when I say a line. So it's a larger contract, but a smaller line item within that contract that you can do as a smaller business just to kind of get your feet wet on a bigger contract.
Thank you. That was great. All right. Mercedes, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, we have a few questions that I think might be good for Sabrina to answer in our last few minutes. So again, I think we might have touched on this, but I just want to reiterate through this question. Someone is asking if their certification is transferable. They rebranded their business and have the certification with the city, but the services are the same. So I guess they're asking if they can transfer that certification that they have for their business with Cook County, perhaps.
So we do have reciprocity with Cook County. However, that's part of like almost what we say is our annual recertification. So we would complete the no change affidavit. Similarly, maybe there's something with the city that you would be doing. But if there's a material, that sounds to me, not knowing that much about it, and not taking deep dives on individual businesses and their different situations, but I'm just going to speak to it from a high level. Material changes have been made. So I'll speak for Cook County on our side. If you were certified with Cook County, that would be something that you would need to come into us, because if we certify you as one thing, that's what you're certified for. So if you add to that, then we would need to know and become aware of that. It's not something that can happen in a vacuum where you change some portions, some pieces or parts of your certification, the ownership, the industries, any of those things, without, and I say recertifying, but making that change known as a material change to us, so that we can reevaluate and determine if you need to do something more. So I can't really speak to the city of Chicago's process as it relates to changes, but you can still, again, for the things that you were originally certified for, you do have reciprocity with Cook County, and you can go into our bonfire portal and bid on contracts.
Perfect. The next question is kind of a few questions, so I think I might break them up. Initially, they're asking, is the no fee for veterans new? They thought it was the same as the same cost of the City of Chicago certification, and they're asking if you can get multiple certifications, such as veteran and minority owned, on the same application.
So when you apply, you can apply for multiple certifications under the different designations. And as far as I don't have the dates or information as it relates to when. I don't know if it was always $0 for veterans, but it's definitely $0 if you for the application fee if you are a veteran, service-able veteran, or a disabled business enterprise.
Perfect. And then Terry is asking with the multiple certification question, if they fit in the multiple demographics and serve multiple demographics such as veterans, if that again applies, if they can pursue multiple certifications.
Could you repeat the question? I'm not sure that I'm
Sorry.
following the question.
They're asking, can I get multiple certifications at once? They fit into, multiple demographics and serve those demographics as well.
Yes, so when you go in to complete the application, if your intent is to be certified under multiple certifications, you would be able to indicate that at that particular time when you're completing the application, with the understanding that you would need to provide the documentation for each of those, whatever it relates to for those particular designations. So if you were doing veterans, there's a list of documents that you need to provide for veterans, but then similarly, if you were just disabled, then there will be other documentations that would go under that designation. So yes, you can apply for multiple certifications under one application, but you will be responsible for submitting the documentation that's required for each individual.
Perfect. Okay, and with that, I think the last few questions we have might be more applicable to, again, the business advising that we are offering through the source. So I'm addressing those, but I think we're all good question-wise.
Great. Thank you, Mercedes. I just wanted to call out, I saw someone put in a source a question. You probably answered it as it relates to childcare and opening a different facility. I just want to speak to that particular business or any business. We do also work, we have business support organizations who do focus in the area of childcare. So when you do go to the source and fill out an intake form and you're asked, put in what you're looking for services for, definitely state childcare, and they will direct you to the proper business service organization who can help you with that. Okay, so again, all really great questions. This was some wonderful information. Sabrina, thank you all for joining us. This is our wonderful colleagues and partners and family members here at Cook County Procurement Business Enterprise Development program, organization. I don't know what to call you. Are you a program? Are you an organization? Like what is, because it's housed inside of procurement. So
yes, we're a division within the Office of the Chief Procurement Officer. However, we have a certification program. So it's a minority and women business enterprise certification program through Cook County. Yes.
Got it. Program. Got it. Thank you for clarifying that for me. I want to say it right when I'm out in the streets and people ask me questions. I want to make sure that I'm speaking towards the opportunity the right way. So I hope everyone got that down. Again, as you heard Sabrina say, there's no job might not be too small. You just have to think about what opportunities and that you could provide. It's kind of a little bit of changing your perspective. You might need to shift, your thought process and your scope of work. As we get ready to close, I just want to say, just from me seeing this, I've been doing this for about 20 years now, working in small businesses. And what I do know is we do not like to partner with other larger subs, as Sabrina stated. If you are a smaller business and you would like to get your foot in the door, sometimes that partnership piece, that mechanism might be that one thing that might take your business to the next level. So do not be afraid to find someone to partner with. I know I worked on a big project with Woodson Library, and that was like my first time seeing people come to a meeting just to learn about what the process was, to get the information about the contract, and people going in the corner and huddling up like, what do you have? What do you have? Okay, let's see how we can work together and actually get this contract. So do not be afraid to network, as Sabrina said. Do not be afraid to look at all this information that we're going to send you in a follow-up. Check out Bonfire, see what the offerings are, and see how your business might be able to fit in. But again, we are all here to assist. You can join Cook County Small Biz if you have questions before you get to that actual process. If you want to get help building up your small business, if you're new to business, we're here to help coach and direct you. So again, that's what we're here. No business is too small. We're going to get you to where you need to be. You might have to take a couple of steps, but I'm going to reiterate, Sabrina, you might just have to put in the work, but we're here to help you do that work and help you get scaled up. All right. So thank you for joining us on our webinar Wednesday, Getting Certified with Cook County. We also have a YouTube. So if you missed it, you didn't get all of it, I know Mercedes, for those who watch, we'll be sending out the link. For those who don't know, we got other things you can go look at. We've been doing this for the last year. So any webinars you missed, check us out on YouTube. Check out our procurements page on YouTube. And again, join us next month. Same time, same channel. And we appreciate you all and have a wonderful day. See you all. Thank you,
Bye.
Sabrina. Appreciate you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
Mercedes.
me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.